Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 47th Commencement Ceremony of Franklin University, Switzerland. Vorrei innanzitutto dare il mio più cordiale benvenuto agli ospiti ticinesi, agli amici e ai genitori di lingua italiana a questa nostra cerimonia di consegna dei diplomi di laurea. That's it for the Italian. Now we'll come back to the English. Today is a very special moment in the life of Franklin University. It is first and foremost a day of celebration. Many of you have come a great distance to join friends and family. Our trustees have come from far and wide to join with our dedicated faculty and our dedicated staff to participate in what is the most important day of the academic year. Today we recognize the accomplishments of our senior class and our graduate students who sit before you in this auditorium. Each of you should be proud of what you have accomplished and what we're about to celebrate. And we, as an institution, are justly proud of you as well. Franklin University is a unique institution. The makeup of our student body, our faculty, our staff, and our trustees is international. Franklin enjoys accreditation both in the United States and Switzerland. Our mission is to inspire students to engage the world, to challenge students through a curriculum that integrates the liberal arts with professional pathways and classroom learning with academic travel, to produce critical thinkers who are culturally literate, ethically aware, and intellectually courageous. You, the graduating class of 2017, have traversed a course that prepared you to become, we hope, responsible, compassionate, collaborative leaders in this increasingly complex and interconnected world. You have met the academic challenges of our institution, and of this you should be proud, but this is also the moment upon which to reflect that you have not done this alone. You have been sustained by your friends here at Franklin and elsewhere. You have also been supported by family members who are usually far away. So at this point, I would like the family of our students, the parents, the grandparents, the siblings, the spouses, anybody that counts as family, to stand up. Hold your applause a second, please. Please stand. Graduating seniors and graduate students, please recognize with your applause these members of your family who have done so much to support you while you were at Franklin. The faculty-student relationship is at the heart of the Franklin University experience. Each of you during your stay at Franklin has been assisted, encouraged, advised, and sometimes even cajoled by the faculty members here at Franklin who have been your biggest fans, watching you grow and eventually succeed. So at this point, I would like to ask the members of our faculty to stand. And again, hold your applause, please. Faculty, please stand. Please acknowledge them with your applause. I would also like at this time to acknowledge Professor Margaret Glass, who has shaped generations of artists at Franklin and who will be retiring after 35 years of exceptional service to the institution. Margaret, please stand. I would also like to acknowledge our trustees who work very hard, come from afar, and are entirely dedicated to this institution. I will ask, not all here, but I will ask each of the ones who are here and on the platform to stand. Peter Aschenbrenner. Laurent Belay. Lucid Doolittle. Inigo Garcia, Kim Hildebrandt, Deirdre Kinney-Brennan, Christopher Schultz, and Cabell West. Other members of the platform party and distinguished guests will be recognized as the ceremony proceeds, but I would like to recognize the presence of the rector of the Universidad de la Svizzera Italiana, Professor Boaz Erez, who is here with us, and thank him for his attendance. And there's one trustee that I left out, and it's now my great pleasure to introduce Franklin University's chair of the Board of Trustees, one of its founders, and its first president, Mr. Pascal Tone.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a particular pleasure and an honor for me to be part of this commencement ceremony. It has been 48 years, can you believe that, since I and 4 other people and a group of faculty members, barely older than you, began an adventure which brings us to this point today in Franklin's history. Franklin College and Institute of European Studies opened its doors in the fall of 1970 in a rented historic villa in the Paradiso section of Lugano with a magnificent view of the lake. There were 11 faculty members and 73 students, mostly from the United States. As faculty members, we regularly invited students into our homes for dinner. On weekends, we took students on excursions around Ticino, usually in one of the college's 2 white Volkswagen minibuses. And there were academic travel, too, Moscow, when it was part of the Soviet Union, Prague and Budapest, still under communism, and Vienna as well. It was a thrilling time to be part of a new educational institution with eager students studying in the splendid international setting of Lugano. I'm very pleased to recognize 2 of my fellow Franklin founders who are with us today, Dr. Theo Brenner and Ambassador Wilford Gaines. Gentlemen. "48 years later, as Franklin has evolved dramatically, I sense the same eagerness and excitement on the part of our students, faculty, and staff for the global international educational experience, which is truly unique at Franklin. On behalf of my fellow members of the Franklin University Board of Trustees, I wish to add our heartfelt congratulations to the class of 2017 on your noteworthy achievement. Thomas Gould is the recipient of the Ursula Gentile Aware Outstanding Service Award. This award was established in 2006 by the Franklin University Switzerland Board of Trustees to recognize outstanding members of the alumni community for exemplary service to the university and for their enthusiastic leadership and support of its missions and goals. The award reflects the honor and credit that recipients bring to the university through their actions and contributions. Past award recipients include Claudia Figueroa, 1995, John Steinbrenner, class of 76, Jim Moore, class of 74, Sally Dodge, class of 65, Sheikh Hussein al-Banawi, class of 75, who is the father of a recent graduate and the father of a present student. Ned Lynch, class of 66, Meg Salyer, class of 73, and India Hull, class of 77. Tom Gould resides in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where he was born and raised. During his career, he served as a loan officer at various Wisconsin banks, followed by over a decade with the Mortgage Guarantee Insurance Corporation, liquidating foreclosed properties and prosecuting real estate fraud cases all over the United States. He then discovered the nail-biting insomniac joys of commodity trading, which he pursued until his recent retirement. Gould's family previously owned the McNally Pittsburgh Corporation, based in Kansas, a multinational industrial engineering and construction company. In 1990, he made Franklin University, Switzerland, a major stockholder of the McNally-Pittsburgh Corporation just prior to the company's acquisition by the Teleborg Corporation of Sweden. Gould served as the director of McNally-Pittsburgh and also director of the Galland-Henning-Nopak Corporation of Milwaukee. Tom attended what was then called Fleming College here in Lugano from 1968 to 1970. Fleming closed in 1970, and the Fleming College faculty then founded Franklin College the following year. Tom graduated from the California Institute of the Arts in 1973 with a degree in broadcasting and returned to Franklin in 1974. He joined the staff with various administrative duties. Throughout the years, Tom has stayed in touch with members of the Franklin community and has been active in service to admissions, offering to represent Franklin to potential students in the U.S. The Ursula Gentile Aware Outstanding Service Award is conferred in recognition of Mr. Gould's longstanding support for Franklin in both action and gift. Tom, would you please come up to the stage?
Thanks, Pat. I would not be standing here if my Franklin experience had not been a real inspiration for the last 47 years. To the graduates, I'll briefly say this. Franklin has given you the ability to see through national borders, to see through national cultures, and to see through flag-waving national chauvinists touting their own superiority. This ability to see through is a skill that will prove useful later in your careers when you are confronted by frauds, posers, hucksters, and con artists, and they will confront you. Thanks to your Franklin experience, you will be able to recognize and deal with them far more effectively than any of your contemporaries. Enough words. Onward, upward, get started on your accomplishments. Here's to you.
We're pleased this year to offer an honorary degree, that is, a degree honoris causa, to an individual whose accomplishments have been significant and enduring. This individual has been recommended to the faculty, endorsed by the faculty, and approved by the trustees of the university. By allowing us to honor her, this individual will honor us. I'll bring the candidate up to the podium. Dean Steiner-Barello, will you come up, please, and introduce the candidate?
Dr. Al-Hazza has been a consultant of ophthalmology since 1993 at King Faisal Specialist Hospital and Research Center in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and she has served as the head and chairman of ophthalmology since 1997. In 2011, she was named professor of ophthalmology in the College of Medicine at Al Faisal University. She is the first Saudi female physician to hold these positions. From 2003 to 2009, Dr. Al-Hazza served as an adjunct associate professor of ophthalmology at the Wilmer Ophthalmological Institute at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, and she is currently adjunct clinical professor at the College of Medicine at the University of Southern California. The list of firsts, as a Saudi, as a woman, as a physician, is too long for me to include here, but suffice to say that she has been a trailblazer for professional women in Saudi Arabia and the world at large. Please allow me to mention just a few of her awards and achievements now. In January 2007, Dr. Al-Hazza was appointed as Senior Advisor to the Minister of Health in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. In January 2013, in a historical move and per royal decree from late King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, Dr. Al-Hazza became one of the first ever female members of the Saudi Parliament. She was named Arab Woman of the Year in the field of medicine and community services in 2005 by the Arab Women's Studies Center in Paris, and Forbes International magazine chose Dr. Al-Hazza as one of the most powerful Arab women for 2005 and again in 2006. More recently, Dr. Al-Hazza was awarded the Distinguished Saudi Woman in Medicine and Health for 2015, as well as the Arab Women Award in the medical field and the Arab Women Life Award and Achievement Award. The list goes on to include medical breakthroughs in ophthalmology, the organization of numerous seminars nationally and internationally, and her participation in a variety of national and international committees and societies, including being chosen for the ICO, the highest rank in international ophthalmology. She is the only woman member of that illustrious body. Dr. Al-Hazza is widely published with over 65 articles and book chapters and continues to pursue her research agenda. Currently, she works as the chairman of ophthalmology at the King Faisal Specialist Hospital and Research Center, the leading medical center in the Middle East.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين. Ladies and gentlemen, what an honor to be a part of this commencement ceremony. What an honor as a Saudi physician and surgeon to be among such a prestigious group. President Greg Warden, Dr. Diane, thank you for your hospitality. Franklin Board of Trustees and spouses, you have touched me in the last 2 days during the dinner conversations and the breakfast gossip. I had the honor to be seated next to Pat Tone, chairman of the Board of Trustees and founder, last night, and had hands-on conversation with him. What a great man. Franklin faculty and spouses, Franklin students and their families, it is an honor for me to be here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you an important day in your career and allowing me to be a part of the Franklin University family, receiving the honorary degree. I don't know how to be more appreciative. Thank you. Faculty, students, this is only the beginning of your career. You are fortunate to be a graduate of the Franklin Universities, to name a few. Prestigious university, multinational. You don't know the importance of multinationality until you're out in the world. It makes you unique, the diversity, to be able to deal with different cultures makes you special. And last but not least, to be accredited both in Switzerland and in the United States. That in itself is a handful. Where you can pursue your postgraduate beyond Switzerland and the United States. And your Franklin degree is going to grant you equivalency in most parts of the world. For that, Franklin University graduates, you are privileged. Now, my life started as a vision of a young man who was determined to get an education despite odds and obstacles. He wanted to make a change in his life and for his future life. Be the first literate member of a family who was financially privileged and thought education was not important as long as you had money and you were able to live comfortably. At night, when his family was sleeping, he went to the mosque pretending to be blind. That was the only time he can study, is when his family slept. He did it quietly and without any family support, as you have now. He got his scholarship to the United States of America and had to break all family rules and traditions because now he was married with 6 girls. And I say 6 girls, we are 5, but my mother was then 18 years old with 5 girls, me being the oldest. This young boy and this man was my father. He took the risk going in the late 60s to what was called then the land of the infidels. So my father put a very high bar that I had to reach, because no matter what I do, I will never be able to accomplish what this man did, not only for himself, but for his 5 girls without a single boy. He was told to keep the girls in Saudi, but he took us and insisted on educating his 6 female family member. Now, when I teach the students, I tell them about positive risk or stress and negative stress. It is very important to differentiate between these two. If something is a positive stress, go for it. If it is a negative stress, stay away from it. My students tell me, Dr. Selwa, how do you differentiate between the two? And I tell them, experience. Make mistakes and learn from your mistakes. That's what shapes you, and that's what makes you who you are. But please remember, when you fall forward, never backwards, so that you can stand up again. You have acquired, as Franklin University students, a strong foundation, a solid foundation from your faculty who were dedicated and passionate. Utilize it. There are no shortcuts to success or leadership. Girls, I was told, ladies now, of course, that you actually represent 63% of the faculty. So boys, if you allow me, give me 2 minutes to talk to the ladies. You actually are the same as in Saudi Arabia. The girls surpass the boys. People ask me, Dr. Selwa, what is the secret of your success? Especially in Saudi Arabia, and I know, most of us know, it is difficult for a Saudi woman. And I come from the most conservative part of Saudi Arabia, which is Qasim. My late maternal uncles fought the late King Faisal when they tried to open schools in Qasim. And now the same people are fighting the government again, asking for more schools. So it's a pace. I say 2 things. Girls, you have to admit to yourself you are a minority, not in your abilities, but in number. If you admit that to yourself, because you do have to work harder than the men. In Saudi Arabia, I know I have to work 10 times as hard. But I always say it balances out, because at the end, when I achieve, I get 10 times the credit. So there's your balance. And be optimistic. No matter how far you'll be pushed back, if it's 3 steps, say I've only gone back 2 steps and I'm still a step ahead. Optimism was my goal. You have to have a turning point. Now we're back to the boys and the girls, or the ladies and gentlemen. You have to have a turning point. It is so important. When we were coming back from the from the States, Tucson, Arizona, to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the most educated person came to pick us up. We were 5 girls. My mother was the 6th. And we were talking, of course, in our mother tongue, which is English, because in those days there was no academic schools. The number of Saudi families, or if you will, Arabs, that's what we were referred to, because nobody knew what Saudi Arabia was then, were just a handful. So we're sitting in the car, I'm talking with my sisters, and I heard this educated member of the family say to my father, "Can you imagine if these girls were boys, what they would do to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia?" So the doors closed even before we entered. And I swore that I would change that, and that was my turning point. So find your turning point and challenge it, but within the system, never out of the system. Get to know the system, learn it, and challenge it from inside. I have 4 stories, so I have to find out how much time I have. Tell me, how much time do I have?
4 stories.
As a first-year resident, there was a first research project, and I'll be really quick, and I was chosen. Now, they didn't know then that a female was chosen when they printed out the program. So it was in Jeddah. My mother said, "Take your brother along with you." I said, "Why not?" He was little now. I said, "Why not? He will be my guardian. At the same time, I will please my mother." So I took him, I went to the ceremony, and they handed out the programs, and they went through the program. Now, I was like number 4. It said best research project, but remember, or award, they did not know as a female. So they skipped me. They went to the next. I was baffled. My brother was with me, who's going to be the tattletale. Everything that's going to happen, he's going to tell my parents. So during the intermission, I went to them and I said, "Why was I not granted my research award?" They said, "We'll grant it to you tomorrow during the actual symposium and not during the ceremony." I said, "No, why?" "Talk to so-and-so." He was then and is from the royal family. So I went up to him and I said, Your Royal Highness, remember, I'm a first-year resident, which means I'm not known. So to make a story short, I went up to him and I said, "Why can I not receive my award?" He said, "The TV's on, the lights are on." I said, "Remove the TV, turn off the lights. I want to get my award." So after the intermission, I went up and I got my award. To make a story short, 15 years later, I'm Professor Salwa Al-Hazza. I'm seated up in front. And then this research award, the same one that happened 15 years ago, a female gets it. So she prances, shakes hands with the minister. Now, remember, in my time, the minister had gone in the big shots, but I needed to get my award. She prances up there, gets her award, and luckily, she sits next to me. So I tell her, "Congratulations." She says, "Thank you." I told her, "Congratulations." She said, "Thank you." I said, "You don't understand. 15 years ago, I could not get that award." This is what Saudi Arabia is about. It's changing, but it has to be done at our own pace. I know you're multinational, so if there is anyone deprived, or you can make a breakthrough, do it with persistence, but not with violence, with evolution, not revolution. The second one, there was an Italian surgeon coming in, and that was so important. I was chosen to be his assistant. So in reality, the operating room opens at 7:30. I decided to be there at 6:30 to make sure no male excuse me, men, goes in and gets my spot. I went in with wide eyes as a first-year resident and accompanied this Italian surgeon and assisted him. I did not know that there were cameras all around taking photos. We finished the following day, and remember, in the operating room, technically speaking, you are wearing a gown, it's long, you have your mask, and you have also your cap. So I was covered, but my eyes gave me away. It was actually broadcasted on national TV, and that was the biggest no-no in the 1980s. My mother, my father were threatened by our family. We are not just mother and father. We live in a family of our uncles, our aunts, our cousins. So for 3 months, my mother was threatened by the family, saying, is it not enough you put her into medical school? You broadcast her to the public? These same people that threatened my mother in the 1980s, 15, 20 years later would call my mother and say, when is our daughter coming out on TV? This is what Saudi Arabia is about. It's about change, and change at our own pace. Then there's Shahla, and this is very important. So these stories tell you the importance of persistence. I'm not talking about myself. Each of you should find yourself in one of these stories. I'm a surgeon, I'm a physician, I examine genetic patients. Unfortunately, these young girls and boys are not your best looking. This young lady came in, shy, I examined her, but I had promised to myself that I would give each patient 2 to 3 minutes of my time. This is where passion kicks in. You have to be passionate about what you do. So when we finished, I asked the mother, what school does your daughter go to? She said, what do you mean? Do you think I'm taking her to school? No way. Look at her. I then was furious. I stomped out of the room and I said to her, you should not be a mother. A year later, sorry, can I have some water, please? Thank you. Because it brings tears to my eyes, this story. So a year later, she comes in, wide-eyed, and the mother says she could not sleep all night. So I assumed she was afraid of me. Then the mother said, don't you remember? Of course I don't remember. Last year, you gave us a very hard time when I said I did not take her to school. You made me feel guilty. So she went to school, and she has a book, Dr. Salwa, she would like you to see. I opened that book, and there were red stars. She was the first on her class. And at the bottom it said, I want to be a doctor like Salwa. I made a difference in that student's. That touched me. The last story, and we're closing up, is Rumeh. Rumeh comes to me to be examined. And before he walks into the clinic, he says, Wain al-Hazza, the mother of al-Hazza, my family. So we know that Rumeh, this Bedouin, he comes in, he's diabetic, I have to treat him, do laser for him. We know he comes in before he actually arrives to the clinic. That day, I opened my clinic door and there was Rumeh. Why did I not hear him? Rumeh, what is wrong with you? Are your lamb okay? Your camels, your goats, your wives? And he just nods his head. I have a busy clinic. I finished now. I'm taking him to the laser. So I said, Rumeh, if you do not tell me why you are quiet, I will not do the laser for you. Of course I was going to do the laser, but I had to. So he said to me, Doctora, you know, we have the Gregorian month and we have the Hijri month, and sometimes there's a difference because we follow the moon. And so he doesn't know the Gregorian month. So he came on the Hijri month, which was 1 day less, and we don't know that when we do our calendars a year ahead. He came on the Hijri month, which was a Sunday, and asked about me. And my staff made a mistake and said, she is examining the king, because I was, may God bless his soul, the late King Fahad, private ophthalmologist. So I said to him, so? He said, Ya lil hol, oh my God. You examine the number 1 man and you examine me as the simple man who owns nothing but simple sheep and camel. And I said to him, Rumeh, I need to tell you something. You are the one that brings me joy. You are the one that will open the doors for me, and you are the one that will make me be granted good deeds. So no matter how high you've reached, no matter what levels, never forget the underprivileged. These people can make a change in your life. So last but not least, class of 2017, please pursue your dreams. Make them a reality. Your education and your skills you have acquired from your faculty, from your dedicated faculty, can never be taken away from you. You own it. Cherish it. Pursue it. Never compromise your integrity, no matter how good the glory is, and it's going to be out there. Glory is short-lived. Your integrity is what takes you through the hard times and the good times. Class of 2017, you are multinational, 85%, 58%. That is a big number. At the King Faisal Specialist Hospital, we're 55%, so you've preceded us. You are ambassadors of the Franklin University. Make us proud. Make this university, the Franklin University, proud. Your journey is just now beginning. Your journey is going to be beyond these premises. Utilize it. Build on it. Be diverse. Encourage other cultures. Get to know other cultures. That's what has helped me in my life. Thank you all. Thank you each for allowing me today and now to be a part of your day, to be a part of the Franklin University, to be a part of the Franklin University family. God bless.
Mr. President, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree of Master of Science. Will the candidates please stand? On behalf of the faculty, I certify that these persons have completed the required course of study for the master's degree at Franklin University, Switzerland, or will do so by the end of the summer 2017. And they are presented to you for conferring at these degrees at the appropriate time.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and on recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree to which you are entitled with all the rights and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
The following candidates will receive the degree of Master of Science in International Management. From Center Ridge, New York, USA, Brandon Berdecia. From Bethesda, Maryland, USA, Vanessa Berrueta. From Torino, Italy, and Quito, Ecuador, and graduating with distinction, Stefania Gaggini. From Alamo, California, USA, Alexandria Henley. From Marinette, Wisconsin, USA, and graduating with distinction, Shang Li. From Farmington, Maine, USA, Bridget Mallet. From Arlington, Virginia, USA, and graduating with distinction, Jordan Ricker. From Brasilia, Brazil, and Orlando, Florida, USA, Lillian Monique Rodriguez Valle. From Longmeadow, Massachusetts, USA, Trevor Shea. Mr. President, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Will the candidates please stand? On behalf of the faculty, I certify that these persons have completed the required course of study at Franklin University, Switzerland, or will do so by the end of the summer 2017 semester, and they are presented to you for conferring of these degrees at the appropriate time.
Just find my glasses. Have to get. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and on the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree to which you are entitled, with all the rights and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
The following candidates will receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts. From Kobar, Saudi Arabia, and Innsbruck, Austria, with a major in visual communication arts with an emphasis in studio art, and graduating magna cum laude, Suhaila Algosebi. From Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Aya Amadoudi. From Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Abdullah Al Saud. From Kuwait City, Kuwait, with a major in communication and media studies, Laura Al Sayed Assem. From Bogota, Colombia, with a major in visual communication arts with an emphasis in fashion studies, and graduating cum laude, Veronica Apache Varon. From Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, with a major in communication and media studies, Malak Bajnaid. From Orange County, California, USA, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Christopher Baderov. From Anchorage, Alaska, USA, with a major in environmental studies with an emphasis in science, Carly Besh. From Bellevue, Washington, USA, with a major in visual communication arts with an emphasis in fashion studies, Manuel Adriana Boulot. From Seattle, Washington, USA, with a major in visual communication arts with an emphasis in fashion studies, Lauren Brown. From Littleton, Colorado, USA, with majors in international banking and finance and international economics, Andrew Bunker. From Uniondale, New York, USA, with a major in international relations with an emphasis in political economy, David Tajay Campagna. From Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA, with majors in environmental studies with an emphasis in science and psychology, and graduating cum laude, Elizabeth Carey. From Washington, D.C., USA, with a combined major in French Studies and Management, Mara Celis Copilotti. From Tbilisi, Georgia, with a major in International Relations, Nanuka Chachibaya. From Florence, Italy, with a major in psychology, Gabriella Quitano. From Ramstein, Germany, with a major in Communication and Media Studies and graduating cum laude, Lauren Codina. From Somers, New York, USA, with a major in history, Juliet Cooper. From Evergreen, Colorado, USA, with a major in international banking and finance, Miles Dean. From Issaquah, Washington, USA, with majors in communication and media studies and in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Rachel Deckman. From Sorocaba, Brazil, with a combined major in comparative literary and cultural studies and political science, and graduating magna cum laude, Juliana Di Martini Brito. From São Paulo, Brazil, with a major in international relations and graduating magna cum laude, Olivia de Valentim Meira. From Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, with a major in international management, Matheus Dias Bartola Ferreira. From Aspen, Colorado, USA, with a major in international management, Thomas Arthur Doyle. From Amman, Jordan, with majors in international banking and finance and in international economics, and graduating cum laude, Sandy Fahel. From Oakland, New Jersey, USA, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Kimberlyn Falk. From Culver City, California, USA, with a major in visual communication arts with an emphasis in studio art and graduating magna cum laude, Georgia Fennell. From Anaco, Venezuela, with a major in environmental studies with an emphasis in science, Maria Fernanda Goite Marin. From Tbilisi, Georgia, with majors in international management with an emphasis in marketing and in visual communication arts with an emphasis in fashion studies, Anna Gulwa. From Little Canada, Minnesota, USA, with majors in international economics and international relations and graduating cum laude, Olivia Hayes. From Wadsworth, Illinois, USA, with a major in international relations and graduating magna cum laude, Trevor Herden. From San Salvador, El Salvador, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Jose Andres Herrera. From Forest Knolls, California, USA, with majors in environmental studies with an emphasis in science and in social justice and sustainability, and graduating magna cum laude, Anna Jones. From Tbilisi, Georgia, with a major in international management and graduating cum laude, Anni Cabarelli. From Columbus, Ohio, USA, with a combined major in history and literature and graduating magna cum laude, Andrea Lee. From Oak Park, Illinois, USA, with a major in international management, Evan Daniel Lewis. From Edmonton, Canada, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing and graduating magna cum laude, Yunmei Lee. From Denton, Texas, USA, and Mexico City, Mexico, with a major in international relations and graduating magna cum laude, Erica Melenka Lopez Arellano. From Lisbon, Portugal, with a major in international management and graduating cum laude, Daniela Lovon Correa. From Kiev, Ukraine, with a major in international relations, Igor Lubenok. From Needham, Massachusetts, USA, with majors in environmental studies with an emphasis in science and in international management with an emphasis in marketing and graduating summa cum laude, Elena McGuire. From Varese, Italy, with a major in communication and media studies, Niccolò Maggioranza. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA, with a major in history, Samuel Miller. From Rijeka, Croatia, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Anna Miskovic. From Rijeka, Croatia, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Mateja Miskovic. From Rochester, Michigan, USA, with a major in international management with an emphasis in finance, Giacomo Molteni. From Quito, Ecuador, with a major in international relations, Leslie Maite Morales Alvarez. From Chester, Connecticut, USA, with a major in international relations, Aeneas Olivares. From Westlake Village, California, USA, with a major in visual communication arts with an emphasis in fashion studies, Chanel O'Neill. From Penryn, California, USA, with a major in international relations, Gavin Owens. From Orange County, California, USA, with a major in Communication and Media Studies, Danielle Palmquist. From Orange County, California, USA, with a major in International Management with an emphasis in marketing, Connor Palumbo. From Prague, Czech Republic, with a major in history and graduating summa cum laude, Zora Piskachova. From Princeton, New Jersey, USA, with majors in environmental studies with an emphasis in science and psychology and graduating magna cum laude, Madeline Pluchinska. From Manila, Philippines, with a major in Communication and Media Studies, Pilar Recto. From Littleton, Colorado, USA, with a major in Communication and Media Studies, Andrew Reed. From Leesburg, Virginia, USA, with a combined major in Comparative Literary and Cultural Studies and Political Science and graduating cum laude, Maria Regina. From Minneapolis, Minnesota, with a major in Visual Communication Arts with an emphasis in Fashion Studies, Megan Runitz. From Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA, with majors in Literature and Social Justice and Sustainability and graduating cum laude, Chloe Rush Spratt. From Amman, Jordan, with a major in International Management with an emphasis in marketing, Sama Shami. From Chicago, Illinois, USA, with a major in International Management, Trevor George Simon. From Cologne, Denmark, with a major in Comparative Literature, Literary and Cultural Studies and graduating magna cum laude, Christine Snitkier. From Quito, Ecuador, with a major in Art History and Visual Culture and graduating magna cum laude, Carolina Sotomayor. From Baltimore, Maryland, USA, with a major in International Management, Sophia Karen Springer. From Pozzuola, Martesana, Italy, with a major in Psychology, Alan Starcher. From Laguna Hills, California, USA, with a major in International Management, Jamie Lynn Steele. From Orange County, California, USA, with a major in International Management with an emphasis in marketing, Jayden Steinman. From Washington, D.C., USA, with majors in international banking and finance and in international economics with an emphasis in political economy, and graduating summa cum laude, Holly Stokes. From San Francisco, California, USA, with a combined major in comparative literary and cultural studies and psychology, and graduating cum laude, Sophia Stroni. From Washington, D.C., USA, with a major in international relations, Kenneth Taylor. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with a combined major in communication and media studies and psychology, and graduating summa cum laude, Sydney Turnwald. From Arlington, Texas, USA, with a major in international management, and graduating cum laude, Maura Vesto. From Dubai, United Arab Emirates, with a major in international relations, Soraya Gaya Watfa. From Roswell, Georgia, USA, with a major in international management with an emphasis in marketing, Jacob Weaver. From Davis, California, USA, with a major in art history and visual culture, Hannah Wiedenhofer. From Salt Lake City, Utah, USA, with a major in international relations and graduating summa cum laude, Alyssa Wilson. From Moscow, Russia, with a major in international management and graduating cum laude, Ekterina Shelishyak.
Before we proceed with the rest of the ceremony, this is the moment that, now that you're officially graduated, that you can move your tassel from right to left. Professor Corinne Young and Professor Pulumi Dasgupta will now introduce the graduate student speaker and the valedictorian speaker, respectively.
In the 2017 graduate class, there are 3 Franklin alums. Brandon Berticcia is one of these alums. I have known Brandon for 3 years as an undergraduate. This year, in the Master of Science in International Management program, I have watched Brandon grow as a leader. He came to the program with some very clear goals. I still remember our admissions interview. You said, "I think that the choices that I make and the experiences that I will have will be profound and will shape the person that I will become, as well as what kind of career I will choose. I aspire to be able to achieve all of my goals, and also I want to leave a lasting effect or change on the world." For the graduate program here, the Master of Science in International Management, we are always looking for change makers. So that's a very important qualification for this class. Brandon has had a very difficult and challenging year, but he's somehow managed to jump through those hoops and stay committed to his goal. When we met for the first time, and Brandon was talking about banking and international finance, and that he thought he wanted to be in the private sector, in the particular area of private banking and wealth management, 3 years ago as we talked, I'm happy to say that Brandon will begin his internship with Arner Bank here in Lugano on June 1st, fulfilling a dream of his. Brandon, I would like you to know why your classmates chose you to represent them. Here is a little thought from each one. He embodies what Franklin is. He is enthusiastic and kind in the way he approaches people. He is eloquent and at the same time funny. He is charismatic. He is responsible. He played a strong role in bringing us all together. He is a committed listener. Seeing him at the podium would make me proud. Please join me in welcoming Brandon to the podium.
Thank you all. Thank you everyone for on stage for giving us all the support over the years. Thank you to my cohort members for voting for me to speak for them. I hope we do you guys proud. And congratulations, class of 2017. I don't think that I ever could have imagined that I would have been standing up here 4 years ago today. But truthfully, it is truly an honor to stand before you today, the class of 2017, and represent my fellow graduate cohort members. It is easy to forget sometimes that I came in with the rest of you in the fall of 2013, as although we all may be a part of Franklin, I didn't realize how much of a community the grad students are, in and of themselves, at least until I was a part of it. I am not only the first graduate student to ever speak at commencement, but also one of the first 3+1 students to make the jump from undergraduate to graduate, along with Jordan. I seem to be at the forefront of crossing the bridge and paving the way for those to come. Most of the people in this room can tell you that that's pretty ironic. A year ago, I was sitting in this same hall, listening to a similar set of speeches and going about the same process. Some of the sting and sadness of graduation was definitely eased by the fact that I knew I would be returning to Franklin in the fall to pursue my master's. I figured that nothing would change and that school is school at the end of the day. But in embracing going back to school and in crossing the bridge from undergraduate to graduate, I think we as a cohort can agree that although we are all returning to academic life, some after more time than others, that we did not realize that we weren't all returning as the same people we once were. I don't think that I can think of this year without each and every one of you being a part of it. I'm truly glad that you all decided to take the plunge and go back to school. Taking the plunge, just like my phone did, because I decided that this finally had to be the year that I jumped into the river at Valley Versasca. One good emotional breakdown and about 400 francs later, my connection with this cohort was pretty solid. We know those cliche graduation themes whose job it is to motivate us through today. This is not the end, but just the beginning. This is just the first step of many, etc., etc. And although crossing a bridge could also be thrown in there, I do feel that it is a cliche that most of us would proudly subscribe to. Because who would we be as Frankliners if it wasn't for our constant ambition to cross the bridge? Just coming here for many of us is crossing a bridge in and of itself. Our decision to pack our bags, leave everything that we knew, everything that we were comfortable with, and cross the bridge into the unknown has led to all of us sitting in this room today. We as grad students should know this better than most, as this is our second time in these polyester gowns. Though it does not necessarily mean that we are any more prepared to cross into the unknown once again. We are all going to run into bridges in our lives, transitions which will work to make or break us as individuals, and it is our decision to cross or avoid them which helps us in our development as people. Some of these bridges will be strong, sturdy, and supporting. These are the easy bridges which we will skip across without a care in the world. Others will be rough and rickety, swaying over a 1,000-foot canyon without an end in sight. These will be the ones which will put our determination and courage to the test. The ones that by crossing, we can say that the experience truly added value to our lives and helped us to develop as a person. Coming into this past fall semester, what I thought would be a simple footbridge, a walk in the park, a continuation of everything that I had known for the past 3 years, ended up being something vastly more than what I expected. Whereas I prepared myself for a simple continuation of my studies and the same old routine, I was met with obstacles which not only challenged me to think critically, but also to assess the outcomes of my actions and inactions. Many of us thought that the difference between being an undergraduate and a graduate would solely be in advancing coursework and maybe some professional connections. But in crossing that bridge, we ended up embarking on a journey that turned out to be so much more than that. Not only have we all developed academically, but also engaged in activities which have shaped our worldview and the way in which we approach the obstacles and barriers in our lives. I don't think that any of us would have traded this experience for anything else. And I certainly didn't think that Franklin could become any more personal and close than it had already been the past 3 years. But that was before I checked myself into the loony bin that is our cohort. Trust me, everyone always talks about the Franklin bubble. How about you guys try dealing with the Franklin water droplet? The saddest part is that after today, I don't have to worry about any of us accidentally falling asleep and setting the apartment building on fire. Thanks to no fire alarms in Alba. Making that decision 4 years ago to cross the bridge into the unknown gave me one of the greatest experiences that I think that anyone could ever ask for. And being able to make that decision a second time has vastly solidified my belief in what it means to be a part of the Franklin family. I think that we could all agree that our time here at Franklin has had an immeasurable influence on us, given us connections and experience that we will always treasure, and helped us to develop the values and beliefs that are the foundation for who we are as individuals. I didn't think that Franklin could give me anything more, and instead I was bestowed with the honor of knowing you 9 in more ways than I can ask for. And I'm so grateful that I've been able to share with you the home that I've come to love over these past 4 years. Looking out at all of you today, I can see the immensely positive impact that Franklin has had on every one of us, and the boundless and limitless determination that it has instilled. We as a cohort are goal-driven, passionate, and hardworking, and all of this gives us the boldness and conviction to get out there and meet every challenge face-on. We will all be faced by many obstacles in the coming months and years, and who knows, some of us may be called to cross the academic bridge a 3rd or a 4th time. But I know that Franklin has duly prepared us all with the ability and the want to get out there and cross every bridge that stands between us and our futures. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and congratulations to all our graduates. You did it. I'm here to present this year's valedictorian speaker. The ideas of equality and justice for all have come under attack in today's era of growing intolerance, inequality, and fear. For this new generation sitting here today, the world is more complex and full of contradictions. Franklin aims to create a generation of students who are not only equipped to deal with this ever-changing world, but are determined to change this world for better. This goal is part of Franklin's mission and is stated in the following manner. A Franklin education produces critical thinkers who are culturally literate, ethically aware, and intellectually courageous. And this year's valedictorian speaker embodies all these qualities. She has taken a number of courses with me, where she has proved herself to be an extremely hardworking student. In her 4 years here at Franklin, she has strived for academic excellence. Be it her paper on has the US debt to China become unsustainable, which it hasn't, or her work on the changing mode of production and the exploitation of women in the economy of knowledge, she has consistently impressed her instructors. Through her undergraduate work, she has demonstrated her ability to carry out independent research and evaluate it critically. She has also been an active member of the Franklin community, or so she tells me. She has been a tutor at the Writing and Learning Center, where she has spent hours helping her fellow students with assignments, term papers, and preparing for exams. Her patience and kindness towards her peers is commendable. In her role as an academic mentor to freshman students, she encouraged these newcomers to push their boundaries and take on new challenges. At the same time, she spent time mentoring them and helping them become more comfortable in their new environment. She has been a research assistant in the Department of Economics and Finance, helped set up a study group on development studies. She has also actively participated in the Student Government Association and Franklin Theater. She has also taken exciting projects outside of Franklin, be it her internship at PopVox, a civic tech platform on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. She has also interned in Panama, where she was involved in collecting and analyzing data on ecotourism and income generation. Interestingly, she was also a part of a research group that was involved in the discovery of a new species of snake. While her academic and extracurricular activities make her exceptional, what makes her truly exceptional is her pursuit of perfection and her constant willingness to learn. What makes her truly exceptional is her kindness and thoughtfulness. What makes her truly exceptional is that she understands this world is made up of people who are different from each other, and these differences add value to the society we live in. She's the kind of student we here at Franklin are proud to be associated with. She is the kind of person who, in her own quiet, determined, and spirited way, will be part of building a world that is more tolerant, equal, and just. It gives me immense pleasure to present to you this year's valedictorian, a double major in international economics with an emphasis in political economy and international banking and finance, Holly Stokes.
Well, Professor Dasgupta just hugged me, so my life is made. As graduation draws to an end, I'd like us to reflect. What has Franklin done for us? It's an odd question, isn't it? What is university supposed to provide? The easy answer is an education, and Franklin has educated us. It has opened the doors to academia, asked us questions we had not considered, and brought us to tears more times than we care to count. From Professor Puca's infamous map quizzes to trying to convince Professor Colombo that we do, in fact, need a calculator, Franklin has continually challenged and bested us. But despite the sleepless nights, exam questions we swear we never learned, and times we were more interested in what kind of cheese BuzzFeed thinks we are than our homework, we continued to come back, thankful for the lessons learned, and promising to never again write our term papers the night before they're due. And why did we keep coming back? Mostly for our professors. Their attention to our studies and passion for their subjects has inspired us. Their ability to answer email and respond to questions at 2 a.m. has left us in awe and a little concerned for their health. And the encouragement and time they have poured into our futures has left us truly humbled. This education has not been limited to the classroom. It has brought us around the world, from parliament buildings to shark cages. We have woken for early morning meetings with INGOs, fit in a ballroom dance class before lunch, and ended the day gazing at a Picasso, only to do it all again the next day. These academic travels have shown us firsthand not how much we know, but how much more there is to learn, a lesson I am most grateful for. So yes, Franklin has indeed educated us, but I don't think that's all it's done. I don't think a university's task ends at an education. I think it extends into the making of the very people we are. Franklin's core curriculum speaks to its goals for us: to produce a globally responsible citizen who appreciates a variety of worldviews, understands the consequences of globalization, and is aware of social justice issues. These goals are lofty, and our pursuit of them cannot and should not end in 4 years. But when asked to reflect whether Franklin has inspired us along this path, I believe we would all say yes. For many of us, this past year has been laced with political and personal struggles. We have been challenged to empathize with the competing views of our communities at Franklin and those at home. And we have gained a new appreciation for others' views, as well as a renewed commitment to our own values. We have seen the pushback of nationalism, as well as the depth of globalization in our travels. And rightly so, we have each formed an educated and a personal opinion on these matters. Franklin has opened our eyes to the world around us. It has made us more aware of our acute privilege and encouraged us to appreciate the opportunities we have been given and to work and fight for those who have yet to benefit as we have. And while there is so much more for us to learn about the world, I do believe that Franklin has helped change the kind of people we are, transforming us into more self-aware and open-minded individuals. So I ask again, what has Franklin done for us? Yes, it has educated us. And yes, it has transformed the kind of people we are. And that alone might have been enough, but if you ask me, it's done even more. It's introduced us to our best friends. And yes, I am aware that that is the most cliche line I could say, but it's cliche for a reason, because without the friends we've made here, our experience would have been completely different. But because of them, these 4 years have been filled with never-ending streams of YouTube videos, 2 a.m. dance parties to 90s hip-hop, and eating Burger King at a truly disgusting rate. From the very first day moving in to my last travel, I have been continually struck by how genuinely kind and wonderfully weird the students at Franklin are. And it is for this community that I am most grateful to Franklin. And now as I reflect on what Franklin has done for us, I can't help but worry. Will these experiences come to an end? Will we fade back into our own lives away from each other? But I choose to believe no. I choose to believe in the relationships we have made here, because whether it be through Snapchat stories or trips across the globe, this doesn't have to be the end. Franklin will follow us. We will still browse EasyJet for cheap tickets on long weekends. We will tag each other in time hops from that one Friday night that we'll never forget. And Professor Ricord will still email us about companies we researched sophomore year. So, I ask that we think of this graduation not as the end of an era, but rather as a celebration of what we have built and what the future holds. Because no matter where we go, we will always be Franklin, class of 2017. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to conclude the ceremony now with a few remarks of my own. You are now graduates of Franklin University, and in a few minutes you'll be able to celebrate this rite of passage. You now hold in your hand a degree from Franklin University that tells the world that you are educated. You have worked hard, and you and your family should be proud. I will echo some of the themes now of our valedictorian. What does that degree mean? First of all, it means that your education is not an end in itself. Education is a tool, something that allows you to continue to learn, and through the ability to continue learning, you should be able to succeed. To be educated means that you understand that there is still a great deal to learn, and that one of the joys of life is that we will go on learning to the end of our days. Education is far more than learning. Education goes far beyond mastery of a specific subject or discipline. B.F. Skinner, the famous and often controversial behaviorist, once wrote that education is what remains when what you have learned is forgotten. Education is broad, education is inclusive, education is open, and with education comes responsibility. Education must include awareness that goes beyond the individual. It must include the understanding that along with privilege comes responsibility. It must acknowledge that your education is not just for you, that it can be something greater that can be of service to all. I believe that we have prepared you well. You have now joined the ranks of an educated elite. I hope that as a graduate of Franklin, you will become, as we say in our mission statement, responsible, compassionate, collaborative leaders. We have placed our hopes and our energies in you, in the faith that you will accept this challenge and that through it you will prosper. Will the graduating class please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends, I present to you the Franklin University, Switzerland graduating class of 2017. Please join me in congratulating them.